Welcome to Beyond the Pages. I'm your host, Arlene Reyes from Donnelly.media. In this podcast, we go beyond the headlines, diving deep into the stories that matter with our team of journalists. Stay with us as we uncover the details, insights, and untold perspectives behind the news.
Donnelly.media presents Beyond the Pages.
Today's sponsor is Edge Fitness. And also,
Captain Tree Service sponsors today's episode. When a disaster happens, call the captain.
So next we have Isabela Veloso from Edge Fitness. How are you?
Good. How are you?
So for those that aren't familiar with the Edge Fitness, tell us a little bit about it and the difference in from other clubs.
I think that the biggest thing for us is just community. A lot of people drive out the way just to come to, Edge because the staff is so welcoming. The community in the gym, everybody's willing to help. Nobody's judging you. Nobody's looking at you. And it's just very welcoming.
Okay. And then what kinds of program do you personalize in?
For me, I'm a strength training girl. I also have a military background, so military, law enforcement, pre and post injury, and strength training in females specifically.
And then can you tell us a little more about the women's area that is dedicated in the gym?
Yeah, so in the Cherry Hill location, we have a women's only room. Only females have access to it. You scan your key tag, you go to the room. It's very low key. A lot of people are, feel some type of way about working out in the big floor where, you see all this big muscular people. You may feel a little shy, may a little embarrassed because you don't know what to do. So you have the room, you have turf, you have machines, you have equipment, you have free weights, you have everything in there that you need for a good workout.
Okay. All right. That's great. And then what's a piece of advice that you would give to women that might feel intimidated about coming into the gym?
Don't. There's no reason to feel bad or shy for stepping out of your bubble. There's something very beautiful about pushing yourself to do something that you're not used to, right? And that's how we grow. It's just by doing something that we haven't done before, because if you keep doing the same things, you can expect a different outcome.
Right. Yeah. And it's very true. You said you were a trainer, right?
Yeah.
So is there a particular story that you have that you can, maybe other women can also find inspiring?
Yeah, I'll shout out my client, Jennifer, full-time mom, full-time job. And she is the best example of discipline that I could tell you guys about. Every day she will come in for her session or for the classes. She would not miss nothing for anything. After a party, before a party, bad day, good day, feeling tired, feeling hungry, she will be there. And I always say it's okay to suck. It's not okay to skip. And she's the example of that. She might come there and not be the best workout ever, but she's there regardless.
Okay, that's great. I mean, yeah, putting your best foot forward is the best. How does fitness create empowerment for you?
I think that we all need a purpose when you start the gym. Not a goal, not a reason. The reason why I started working out was because I was so skinny. I wanted to gain, some muscle, gain some weight. But that fizzles out. Now you need a bigger purpose of why you're still working out. Is it for you? Is it for your kids so you're able to play with your kids? Is it that you're getting older or you have health issues? I could teach you how to put a meal plan together. I could teach you how to do a push-up, how to do a squat. I cannot teach you purpose. It's within you. You have your own purpose, and you got to keep showing up for yourself.
Exactly. I think purpose in everything,
For sure.
we always have to find that within ourselves. I mean, because you're right, you can train people in whatever it is. And if they don't have the purpose and they don't have the motivation, then it's not going to quite work out.
If you have a goal, once you achieve that goal, that's it. You lost motivation. You achieved your goal. Like, why else would you keep going to the gym if you already lost the 20 pounds or you did your pull-up? It has to be something bigger than yourself that you're working towards.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any questions for Isabela from Edge Fitness? Yes.
Yeah, so I think that a lot of people look at the gym as an option. I could go today. If I don't go today, I could go tomorrow. Would you do the same thing about, your kid's soccer game or going into work? Is it really an option of going to work? Not really. You have to be there. So the gym has to become a non-negotiable for you in your life. If you can only commit 3 days out of the week, commit those 3 days, but do not skip one day. And then it's, oh, well, next week I'll make it up, because you probably won't. And for me, I'm a routine kind of person. So I always like to have the same schedule, and that I find that it works. So find whatever works for your schedule, because let's be real, the gym is inconvenient. It's inconvenient to drive to the gym. It's inconvenient to get home and have to cook a wholesome meal. It's inconvenient to spend, an hour at the gym and then get home and get tired and have to be, a business owner, a mom, a wife, or feed your pets or whatever. It's inconvenient. But everything in life is also inconvenient. You know what I mean? We're not going to have time for everything that we want to achieve. You just have, again, it's a non-negotiable. It's your commitment with yourself.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Isabela, for coming.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Today's episode is also sponsored by the Christine Dash Real Estate Group. Today's episode is also sponsored by Piccalilli Inn.
So next we have Christine Dash, the Christine Dash Real Estate Group from Keller Williams. Christine, I've known for a long time.
Yes.
And she has been an advertiser and a partner of ours for a really long time as well. So, Christine, tell us a little bit about yourself and what inspired you to become a realtor.
Okay, so a little bit about myself. My name is Christine Dash. I live here in Morristown with my husband, Ben, and my 2 children, Jonathan and Gabrielle. And that's pretty much my world. But before getting into real estate, I actually worked in the pharmaceutical industry for 20 years, and when you're young and you start something, everything's exciting, right? And then things change and industries change, which pharmaceuticals certainly changed. And, it became a chore. I felt like I was chained with golden handcuffs, to a business that no longer served me. And I was just doing it every day, the grind for the money. And it was soul-sucking after 20 years in the industry. And then one day, I lost my brother very unexpectedly at 47 years old. And when that happened, that moment in time, I couldn't breathe. And who knew? How do you ever get over, such a dramatic loss? But all I knew was that my brother didn't get the chance to start over or to do more or whatever. And I think he was very happy in his life. And I looked at my own and I said, I can't do this anymore. I can't do it. Get up every day and do a grind for somebody else just for money. It was no longer okay.
Right.
So I got out of, I left the business after 20 years. And I never looked back.
Yeah.
And then I got into real estate and really started to pursue, my passion.
Right. Okay. And then tell us something that maybe one moment or the type of moments that make you feel, I don't know, proud or they feel rewarding in doing real estate.
Well, there's a lot of different things. But I would say if you were to ask the most rewarding moment of my career in real estate, it actually came on the heels of the worst moment that I ever had in real estate. I had an assistant that worked for me for 5 years, and she was very close to me. Fast forward, it's just before COVID, and I found out that she had been stealing from me for a couple of years. And she defrauded me in a very big way. And, that was a moment it was a gut-wrenching, awful moment. But at the end of the day, I wasn't minding my own shop. I wasn't looking at my numbers. I was, completely trusting just one other person in the world with a whole candy store. So at the end of the day, it was very hurtful, but I said to myself, I didn't come this far to fail. Right. And I'm going to do everything I can to move forward, and I'm going to get beyond this. And someday I'm going to look back, and I'm actually going to get on a national stage and help train and develop people to share my story and how they really need to be a steward of their numbers when they're in business, so that that doesn't ever happen to them. So then fast forward, it was not a year. I got a phone call from Gary Keller's office from Keller Williams, and I was asked to be on a national stage and share my story that he didn't even know about, but he just was asking me sales.
So you manifested that for yourself.
I manifested it unknowingly, and it actually happened, and it was a really wonderful moment that brought me from the darkness into actual light and being able to help other people, in their journey too.
Right. That's great. That's really great. How do you balance being approachable, but still in negotiations, you have to command, you have to command respect. So how do you balance that? I think we all struggle sometimes with this having the softness of that people expect from you and having the strength and commandment to say like, no, this is what we're doing.
Yeah. So I think that it comes with time and confidence in what you are, who you are, and what you're doing. And I think the most important thing is that, it's nice to be nice. It's really important. And but the biggest thing is to have a little bit of tension there so that like you're in charge of the situation and you know what you need to do. But it's okay to get there with kindness.
Right.
But the important thing is to not back down off of something that you believe is true and is right. So, and I think that all comes from the confidence from within, and the mindset that you know what you're doing.
Right.
You are who you are, and you just share that with everybody else.
That's great. What type of way do you empower your clients to feel confident in either buying or selling real estate? Because I think for some people can be a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I think, having a baby is nerve-wracking, and buying or selling a house is really nerve-wracking because it's emotional, right?
Right.
So what I do is my biggest thing I believe in is education. So when we educate and we really sit our clients down and we counsel them on the process of buying, the process of selling, what's going to happen next, and how to really move them through a process with confidence. They need to know that we're the expert in the room because we are. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And if they feel that and they feel your confidence, it's going to be a lot easier to be able to help lead them to the right decision for them. And at the end of the day, it's got to be the right decision for them. And one thing that I pride myself and my team on is that we're fiduciaries first in everything that we do. So if it's going to be a great situation for the client, then we're going to get them to that promised land. If we don't believe it's going to be a great situation for our client, well, we're going to let them know that too.
Right. Because you want to make sure you're meeting their expectations and you have their best intentions.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then what do you wish people understood about working with a realtor?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is, first of all, it matters. And who you work with really matters in this business. And it can mean the difference, like finding the right expert in real estate for you. It can mean the difference between you getting your dream home and losing your dream home. It can also mean the difference between you. It can mean hundreds of thousands of dollars to you because let's face it, for most people, our homes are our biggest assets.
Right.
And when it comes to selling them, it's a financial transaction that can literally change the trajectory of then what you do next. And a fun fact is that 74% of all real estate agents in not only New Jersey but the United States did not complete one transaction last year. And that's a sobering fact. So who you work with really matters, and experience is really, really important, especially in a market that's constantly shifting like the one that we're in.
Right. How do you handle any setbacks or a deal that maybe is not going your way?
Well, I mean, nobody likes setbacks.
No.
But it's all about failing forward, right? And so if there's a setback and if we truly can't undo that setback, it's a learning moment. It's a moment to now I have a new tool in my toolbox, because maybe it was maybe it's a turn that we didn't know could be a turn. And what happens with us and in my business is, every time there's one of those things that come up, we create a new process. It makes us create a new process by which we then incorporate into the business on a daily basis. So at the end of the day, it's always about growth.
Right. Is there a either very memorable or unusual home that you remember touring someone through?
Well, they're all unique and they're all different. But what I want to say though is that, because it's not really about any one house or one person or individual, it's about the small, really unique, wonderful things that we're able to touch other people's lives with. And what I mean by that, it's the retired gentleman that I was able to get him an enormous amount of money for his home, who texted me and said, Christine, I'm in Cabo right now, and I got to tell you, the reason why I'm able to travel the world right now is because you helped me get where I needed to be from a financial perspective when you sold my home.
Right.
Or it's that, that young couple who comes to me and says, we really want to rent a house. We're willing to spend $3,200 a month to rent a house. And then I gently take them and show them and call the lender and get them to realize that they don't have to rent a house from somebody else. They can actually buy a house.
Right.
They could pay their own mortgage. And then, by the way, this 24-year-old couple, they're now building wealth.
Right.
Because we sat them down and showed them another way that their mind couldn't even imagine.
Right.
And then finally it's the adult children of a family who mom and dad have passed away. And it's a really difficult thing, and it's a tough transition. Or if mom needs to be in nursing care, and they call me and they say, Christine, we need to get every ounce of money we can because we have to fund mom's care for the rest of her life,
Right.
however long that is. And being able to do that for families and be able to, get them to where they need to be. I mean, those are the biggest stories that live with me on a daily basis.
That's great. Thank you so much, Christine. Thank you, Christine Dash. Thanks for coming. Thanks for sponsoring.
That's a wrap for this episode of Beyond the Pages. Thank you for joining us. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe and leave a review. Until next time, keep reading between the lines.